Hey James, could you hear me?
Second, man, I'm coming. 1 second.
Hey James, you there?
Hold on 1 second. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm good. What's up with you, man?
Perfect. Not too much. Just got off that webinar. Just chilling for a little bit before we got on this meeting. How about you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Excited about life and ready to make some money, bro.
Exactly. That's the only way to do it, Can't do anything
Yeah,
else.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Um, so first of all, thank you for making some time for me today, and really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, my goal is like everyone's success. I trade the same way everyone else trades. So if there's anything that you need help with, I'm always here to help because, I created the strategy. So if anyone can help you, it could be me.
Right,
That's pretty much
exactly.
exactly.
So you kind of give me the rundown. How does this normally work?
Okay, cool. So generally, when I have a mentoring session with someone, they've been going over the strategy themselves already, and generally there's areas where they need help with, or there's areas of confusion. So if there's anything that you like in particular, like if there's a specific strategy that you like to apply, um, and there's something that you have questions about, or if it's not working as well as you'd like it to, I can analyze your trades and see what you might be doing wrong, and then we can work on that. It's pretty much an open forum for you. I'm basically just here, and if you have any specific questions, I can help you through pretty much anything that you need help with
Okay,
the K2 strategies.
cool. Gotcha. So, I found out about K2 based around the US 30 strategy. Some people that I'm learning to trade with started talking about it, and I was like, well, one of us need to get the indicator, and then three of us ended up getting it, and we were using it pretty much just for the US 30 strategy. But my account is not big enough for US 30. I found that out very quickly.
Oh
So
yeah, no, you might have gotten margin called out at some point, right?
yeah, something like that. So I'm trying to now, I need to figure out a strategy that I'm going to use for regular Forex pairs, as well as, I guess, things like SPX and NODs I can do for some reason, but US 30 not so much.
Yeah.
Um, so, currently using Hugo's way, but I guess that's neither here nor there. So, um, you got a lot of strategies in the back office, bruh. And like, I'm like, okay, which one do I want to use? So, what do you normally recommend, for Forex pairs? I tell you what I've been doing before I started using, the K2 indicator was trading on the 15-minute, um, drawing zones and that type of thing. I noticed that you draw your zones on the 4 hour. Um, is there a particular reason for that
Yeah.
versus, say, a 15-minute or an hour?
You can go on the shorter ones too. I just feel like on the shorter time frames, there's a little bit more noise. So the 1 hour is actually perfectly fine. But if you go anywhere under the 1 hour, you'll run into a lot of noise. So let me show you, for example, here. Let me pull up, let's say, like GJ or something. So if you're trading GJ and then you're trading on, let's see, so this is the 4 hour zones. You can see that the 4 hour zones are they're pretty spread out and they're pretty nice. And, there's
Right.
cushions
You
between these
can see
areas.
what's going on. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you go on the shorter time frame, like you said, it's 15 minute, and then you tried to draw the zones on here, they're still perfectly fine as well. It's just that you're not going to get the more critical zones that are on the higher time frame, because the thing with the 15 minute is that you're going to have to go back and update your zones probably maybe every hour, because every four candles is going to be a new like basically a new hour candle. So at that point, there's probably going to be new zones that have been created. So you can see right here on the 15, it's still pretty accurate. It's just if you want higher accuracy, then I would recommend going on the higher time frame, because the problem with these zones is that sometimes they'll be a little too close. Like you can see from this zone right here to this zone. Um, let's see, it's only about like about 8 pips. So if your spread on Hugo's way is probably 3 or 4 pips, you're not going to make any profit off this trade if you're trying to catch like a little move from here to here, because you need to cover the spread going into it, and then you need to cover the spread going out of it. So you're going to have to go in with a 4 pip loss, and then you're going to also have to cover a 4 pip spread on your exit as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like how that works.
Yeah.
Okay,
I am.
perfect.
I am.
Okay, perfect. So
Okay.
yeah, generally, just looking at this here, you can see that there's not really much space for you to really trade. This is a decent space right here, about 20 pips, and then maybe this one right here as well. But if you look at these zones over here, it's kind of a point where you can't really trade within, where it moves from zone to zone, because the zones are just a little too close. However, they still work. You can see here that they still bounce off pretty perfectly.
Right.
So depending if you're, I'm not sure if you're trying to scalp or if you're trying to intraday trade.
Well,
What's your strategy type?
I started kind of learning intraday kind of it was a mix between scalping and intraday, but really for me, I'm glad that you trade on the higher time frames because it's less for me to look at and I don't have to be stuck in front of the computer all day.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah. So, um, do you mind if I share my screen?
Oh, sure. Let me move you over to panelists, and I think you can share yours. So let me move you over real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna.
All right, James. Try to let me make you co-host. All right, cool. So I think you should be able to share your screen. Do you have that option on yours right now? Let me see if I can. I'm gonna turn off mine, and then you can share yours. All right, cool. So I turned off mine, and then now you can try to share yours. There should be.
Alright, let me let me get rid of some of these tabs real quick. Hold on. Close tabs to the right. Awesome. Alright, so now I can come over here and share my screen. Bear with me, I'm trying to get my computer to. Okay, here we go. So record on computer. Nope. Start video. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm stupid. I didn't even see it right there. Okay. Screen two and share. Alright, cool.
Perfect.
So you can see my screen now?
Definitely. I can see it on my screen now.
Alright, cool. So I was practicing drawing these zones, right? So, let me just gotta start over here. Move drawing tools. So is this one line here considered a zone
Yes,
right
so
here?
you can connect those two lines that are right next to each other into like one smaller zone. Here's one trick that I do. Go to where it says the 4 drop down menu where you can edit the settings for the indicator,
Okay.
and then click on K2SR V2, the settings button. It should be the one below it.
Damn. My bad.
No, that's all right.
Can I say damn? Are we live? I'm
No,
sorry.
you can say anything you want. This is your forum today. You can say anything
Cool.
you want.
All right, cool. So settings here.
All right, and then go to inputs.
All right, bet.
And I generally put for the lines length, I put that at 500. So you can change that 200 to 500. And by doing that, you're going to be able to put your zones across the entire screen. So it's going to be a lot easier for you to plot them on the screen for you.
Yeah, I need simple as easy
There you go.
for me. All right, bet.
And
There.
then now you can see that everything goes across the entire screen. So that way you can easily just draw your zones right over them.
Okay, so let me. All right, so you were saying like I could connect all 3 of these basically.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could connect all 3 of those. You can also check the space in between because generally I like to keep at least a 25 pip barrier between each zone. But if you want to create a big zone, you can do that as well. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So depending on how you personally want to do it,
No,
you can do it either way.
I'm trying to do it how you do it, bro. Because what you've been doing is working. So
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So it looks like that's one big zone. So you can definitely connect all those into just one big one if you like.
so I would just grab this and go. Sorry, I'm a little slow. I'm actually in a wheelchair. I have cerebral palsy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I kind of picked up trading because somebody recruited me to a network marketing company, and that's cool, but she ended up not even sticking with it. And I'm like, this is perfect. If I can sit at home and make $3, $4, $5, $6,000 a month, just, you know, trading from the house and not have to go anywhere, that's awesome. So I'm just trying to find a way to be as efficient as possible. You feel me?
Exactly. It makes it so much easier because you don't really have to do much. You just learn how to trade and then you can trade on your own if you like, or you can trade with people. It's really up to you.
I've found that I like trading with people because otherwise it's kind of boring.
Exactly. Yeah. I traded alone for probably 5 years and it just got lonely, because sometimes you'll take losses and you're not sure if you're trading wrong or if the market's just weird. It gets boring. And then you kind of start to think to yourself, am I doing this properly or not? Stuff like that.
Right. So, and I think the biggest part for me was making sure that I had these zones down. So I'm gonna finish doing this and I'll ask you some questions while I'm working on it, and then you can tell me if I fucked up anywhere. So,
Definitely. Another trick you can do too is you can click on the zone once you have it placed, and then you can have it extend to the end of the chart. So it's a lot easier and it's more self-efficient. So once you place that, like place one zone on the chart, you just double click on it, and you can change the settings on there. So go ahead and click on that rectangle that you have right there.
uh-huh.
Try opening up double click on it. Okay, there you go. So now go to settings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go to right there where it says extend right and extend left. You can check both of those off.
Oh, okay.
So there
Turn
you go.
up. Hey.
It makes it a lot easier, right?
Yeah, I'm with it. Okay.
So in this situation, you don't have to like draw across the board. You can just make it a little smaller and it'll cross all the way over.
I love you already. This is great.
Yeah, the whole key with trading is to be efficient because sometimes you have to act really quickly, especially if you're trading on the 15-minute time frame. You
Yeah,
gotta be really
that's why I'm liking this 4 hour thing you got me doing.
Yeah, the 4 hours is a lot easier because you only need to trade about, 6 times a day, 6 to 10 times a day max. The 4 hour candle closes the same time every single day.
Yeah, so shit, I messed up. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Um, so what was I gonna ask you? Um, Fuck me, I lost it. Anyway, so once I get these zones drawn, um, what am I looking for, in general? Because like I said, I've been through pretty much every strategy that you have on the site, and it's kind of all jumbling together now.
Yeah.
So with the zone strategy, do I need the trend meter or no?
No, so for the zone strategy, all you need is the momentum indicator because you already have the zones on the chart for you. So technically you would need the K2SR, but you're already, plotting them on the chart for you yourself. So you don't need to have that on. The only thing that you really need to have is going to be the momentum indicator. And that's just going to give you confirmation of the direction or price so that you know which way to trade. So obviously if you have a previous buy signal, you're only going to take buy entries. Vice versa, if you have only sell signals, then you'll only be taking sells.
Right. So okay, so what am I waiting for here? Am I waiting for price to break this zone? Does it need to retest, or can I take it right out of the break? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
So turn on the K2 momentum indicator first so we can see the direction of momentum.
Okay.
Go
Uh,
ahead to the yeah, right there.
all right.
And then turn on the K2TS. There we go. And then you can see right there that the last signal was a buy signal, right?
Right.
So the entry would be on that candle where it broke the zone. So it wouldn't be on that signal candle, but it would be on the one to the right of it where it broke that zone above.
Oh. Oh, where it broke the zone above.
Yeah.
Okay, over here.
Yeah. So the entry would be right there.
Okay, so this is different from the US 30 where I'm taking it on the next candle. So if it's a buy signal, I wait till
It
a
breaks the
buy
zone.
candle breaks the zone upward. And then, now what's the likelihood that I get, like, let's say I I enter the trade after I see this candle broke the zone and closed. So what's the likelihood that I end up getting a red sell signal on this next candle? Like, what do I do then? Is it like, oh shit, let me get out of the buy, or do I just hold it, or what?
So here's another thing that I do. So turn on the K2 pivots indicator, or here we'll do this first. Click on the you see the red and green lines on the chart with yeah right there. Just double click that,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, open the settings. So we're gonna hide those so they don't get in the way because it's kind of hard to see when you have those on the chart. So
The
see
fuck?
right there where it says show MA curves. Just uncheck that
Okay.
and then click OK, and it cleans up the chart for you. There you go. And
Oh,
then
bet.
yeah, it makes it look a lot cleaner.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And then on top of that, you can turn off the K2SR since you're not using them right now. So you can turn that off
Cause I already drew the zone, so I don't really need the.
pretty much for the most part. And there you
Right.
go. It makes a lot more space on the chart for you, so it's easier for you to see.
Okay. So now I'm gonna turn on the pivots.
Yeah, just turn on the pivots because generally you want to trade in the direction of the trend. So in this situation right here, like you mentioned, if you got a sell signal, right, that same scenario you just brought up,
Mm-hmm.
then I would just ignore it because the the trend is still going upward. So you can see the pivots, how price is above the pivots, and the pivots are all angling up and they're kind of spread out.
Right.
So that's going to indicate that price is in a very strong uptrend at that time. So if we do get a sell signal, then that's generally going to indicate that it's going through a minor pullback or a tracement. So that's going to indicate that it's just temporary and that, once it bounces back, it'll probably swing right back upwards.
Okay, so let's just say that I got this signal here
Mm-hmm.
and I entered here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my long position here, and then I would is that it right there? I think so. That would be my stop loss and take profit, basically.
Yeah, so the stop loss, I would probably put it at the previous swing, which would be a little lower, where that lower green candle is. You see where the swing happened?
Right. So like right here or down here.
You can put it up to the other one because that's a little too far. It's like 200
Yeah, I
pips.
figured that. No, hold
And
on.
yeah, so the problem with trading something like a GA, GN, EN, and EA, the problem with those pairs is that it moves super fast. It probably moves about maybe 10 times faster than normal Forex pairs. So your risk is going to be a little higher depending on how much you're risking. So if you're going to be
Yeah.
risking, yeah. So for this, um, it says 147 pips. So if you can handle that risk, then it would be perfectly fine. However, for me, when I call signals, I generally like to cap my risk at about 100 pips. But you can see right there that if your stop loss was at 100 pips, you might have hit stop loss because the thing with those specific pairs is that they move too fast. So generally, if the risk is too wide like that, I usually just hold off and then I just skip the trade, um, just to be safe. However, if you're willing to take the risk, you could do perfectly fine if you were to take that trade. So it just really depends on you personally if you'd want to
Yeah.
put your stop loss like that far behind.
Like I normally I was always taught with GBP pairs you wanna have like a 50 pip stop loss. So like 100 is like whoa. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly. I feel the same way. That's why I didn't call this trade because the risk was just way too high. So like generally if the stop loss is more than 100 pips, then I'll just move on to something else because that's just too much to risk, for like one trade.
right, I got you. So I did enter this with you on a live session uh, earlier. So how do these zones look to you? Did I do a pretty decent job with
Oh,
those?
nice. Yeah, turn on your K2SR indicator, and then we can take a look if they line up properly.
Oh, God
Let's see.
damn.
Yeah, so they look fine. It looks like you put a little extra space outside of it, there's no problem with that. It's just if you want to be super exact, then I would just put it right over the zones. However, there's nothing wrong with having extra space because it's better to be safe than sorry.
Okay, so mainly just cover the line and let that be it, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, just so you have a more accurate picture of where price is likely to reject from. Because the thing is, you don't want to have the zones too wide, and then you avoid trades because you think that it's within the zone when in reality there was just some cushion there, which
Yeah.
it could be a double-edged sword because in some situations it could be a good thing, in some
hmm
situations it could be a bad thing. So it just there's no right or wrong way to do it, but it's just really up to how you want to do it.
Okay, so put my zones on the line and then don't take the actual signal candle, but take the next one that closes above or below, whether it's a buy or sell. Correct.
Yeah. Well, you can take the signal candle if it so say right so look where that red candle is. You see what happened there where price was above the zone
Yeah,
and then you see how it closed below it and then it closed with the signal.
right.
Then that would qualify as a valid entry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So The first thing that you would want to look for is just the direction of momentum. So you want to see which direction the signal is moving, and then the second part is you just want to confirm that price crossed the zone like sometime recently. Like it didn't happen like hours ago. It happened like on that specific candle or like maybe a candle previously.
Right. Got you. Got you. Um. Yeah. So that kind of handles that. You said I can do this on the 4 or the 1 is what you pretty
Yeah,
much recommend.
yeah. For that specific strategy, then I would generally use it on the 4 hour. That's where I've tested it on, and it works pretty good. That's pretty much the only strategy that I use when applying the signal. So for all the signals that I call, I use the same exact strategy on the 4 hour
Okay.
time frame. Sometimes they line up with a pivot strategy. Sometimes they don't. It just really depends. Like you can see where that green candle is right next to the most recent red one.
Mm-hmm.
So that entry right there would qualify for a K2SR entry, plus it would also qualify as a pivot entry as well. So
Wait. You mean this
the
green?
one all the way to the left of it, where the signal candle is, that
Oh,
the buy signal,
you said to the left of what?
it's the signal on to the left, that green
Oh,
buy signal.
the bicycle. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So that would be an entry for the K2SR strategy, but that would also be an entry for the K2 pivot strategy as well.
Yeah, see, the thing about the pivot strategy for me is this is too much going on for my eyes. Like, too many lines, and I'm like, did it retest or no? I'm like, okay, so that's why I wasn't too enthused about the pivots, because they're just hard for me to see for some reason.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So I like this though. I think this is gonna be great. My problem was, I mean, I'm newer. I'm not like an experienced person, obviously. So my problem has always been FOMO or chasing trades, and because I'll get a sell signal, and then the next signal, like I said, like here for example, I get a buy signal, and then I'm like, okay, how long do I stay in? You know what I mean? Like, and then I get a sell signal, and I'm like, no sell, and then it goes up again, and I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
so
So generally the way I would do it is I would chart up an entry for, the most recent valid entry. And then if that hasn't finished, like it hasn't hit full TP or it hasn't hit stop loss, then at that point you can re-enter, you can hang on to it. However, if it hits TP or stop loss, then that would definitely be a little too late, and I would definitely consider that like a FOMO move. And that's normal because you're still a new trader. So like the thing is, you get excited and you want to be in on every trade, and that's how pretty much everyone is. I was like that for a long time until I realized that it's all about patience. It's all about patience and waiting for the proper setup, and not forcing any trades. Because like when I first started trading, I used to scalp and I would take like 30, 50 trades a day, and I would make money in the beginning and then I lose money at the end of the day. So now
wow,
I I went from taking like 30, 50 trades a day to only, maybe 0 trades to maybe 5 trades a day. And at that point, if all those 5 trades would hit, then I'll be straight profit and I won't have any losses. So I
yeah,
realize that it's more about accuracy, it's more about quality trades versus, chasing trades. Because sometimes you'll see price movement and you want to just hop right into it. And then as soon as you hop into it, it reverses on you and you're like, damn, I should have never entered that.
yeah, and you're speaking my language right now. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So for US 30, I pretty much have that strategy down. Um, well, I want you call it the US 30 strategy, but really I can use it with any of these indices as long as I get in at the right time, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. I haven't tested it. That's why I haven't vouched for those, but other people have used them themselves. They use it for NASDAQ, they use it for S&P, and it works perfectly fine. Like I think if you speak with Keith in the chat, Keith uses it on SPX because he doesn't trade US 30, and he's been having a lot of luck with it. So I mean, there's
Yeah,
the opportunity is pretty endless because that strategy is based on momentum. So
right.
literally every industry has the same type of momentum during the New York session. So you can use it as
Right.
much as you like.
So, let me see. Where did it go? I know a couple weeks ago when I was on, maybe last week actually, when I was on your live session, I had bought up the AU 200 um, index, and I think somebody else bought it up last night. And you guys said, I think it was 7:40 my time to look for the entry. Does that ring a bell or no?
Oh, for the Aussie. Um,
Yeah,
oh yeah, you were looking at the it was a new strategy that Dominic was looking at. So he's one that mentioned that he actually did some back tests on it, and he said that it was good. It's a hit or miss strategy. So he said for last month it was like unstoppable. It was literally just hitting, TP after TP. But then he back tested it to I think June and August, and he said it wasn't very accurate. He said it was about a 50% win rate. I mean, it was still 50%, give or take, but it wasn't as good as it was last month, where it was about like 80% win rate. So I don't know if I would personally follow it, but I mean, you could. It just I would have to talk to Dominic and see what his parameters were for that. I think
right.
he said that he was taking it off the 4 o'clock, right? I'm not sure if you remember what time it was.
Now, is he on Pacific Standard? Because whatever it was, because I think I asked right before you guys got off last night or the night before. I don't know what day it was, but I know I asked what time it would be my time, and I think it was 7:40. So I think that's 3:40 your time. I'm not sure.
7:40. Let's see. Um, seven. That'd be about 4 o'clock my time because I'm Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I think you're 3 hours ahead of me. So if it's at
Yeah.
7, then that would be at 4 for me. So yeah, the way that Dominic did it, he said that he took the trade. He looked for the trade after 4, but then if the signal came within the first hour, he would just skip it. So technically it would be 5. That was the time that he was taking the trades.
Let me see, because I did something last night. Well, not something. I actually entered at the candle uh, on the first signal after 7:30. No, after 7:40, and it worked out. I'm trying to find it.
You can probably hide the other indicators because they're not really
I know.
used.
I need to, so I can see what the hell's going on.
You can probably
Okay.
hide the pivots too because those are not used for this strategy. There you go. Nice and clean.
Right, gotcha. Alright, so what was last night? Today is what, 6th? 5th?
Let me check. Today is the 6th. So it was the 5th yesterday.
Alright, 5th is yesterday. Alright, so, mm, 7, mm, 5 o'clock. Okay, so 7:40. There was 7:10. So I don't know what the hell I took, but I know that motherfucker hit TP. I know that much.
Might have been
Was
now
it
on that green
was
one.
it this? Yeah, So let's say it was that one.
I'm not good with military time, so
Uh,
I'm trying to like calculate in my head, but I'm not really sure.
no, I'm good with the military time. I'm just trying to. What did I say? It was this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd probably be around 8 o'clock your time. Is that 8 o'clock? 12.
No, this is 11. Yeah. It wasn't that late. Let me see.
That's
Maybe
probably
it
that
was
one right
this
there.
one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is 9. Mm, and yeah, I think I set it for like 150. I might have left it this way. Anyway, I know I hit TP. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, holy shit, it actually went through my TP.
Oh yeah, definitely. It looks
Yeah,
like it's not straight up.
yeah, and it just went right on off. I was like, damn, this might actually work. So I was gonna try it again tonight, but I wasn't in front of the computer. Let me see if there's anything else I need from you. I think I'm pretty straight, man. I just needed to really understand a strategy that I could use instead of just waiting on a green or a red signal and just taking it on a whim, because I wasn't really doing the zone part of it. I was just kind of, okay, red signal, all right, let's sell. And you know what I mean? And it was fucking me up pretty bad. So I'm glad I'm glad that we had an opportunity to talk about that. We talked about the time frame to use the zones. And what else? Time frame. Talked about US 30 a little bit. Talked about the zones. Yeah, man, I think I'm straight. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you for an hour if I don't need to. Um, oh, where can I find the date that my next payment is gonna come out? Cause I forgot what day I signed up for the trial.
Oh yeah, if you go to the K2 website, you can go over there. If you want to go right now, we can take a look at it if you want. If you go on the Teachable, the K2 website, I think you have it on open on your page already. It's probably that
Yeah.
third tab.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go there, you can go ahead and go to you can click on the strategy course. I think that's the one that you're on, right? It's the middle one right there. And then if you go to the bottom, I think it might have your account info. So just scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, actually, I think it's right there on the top right where it has your account, where it's like a photo but it's blank.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you click on that. Yeah, you can go to manage subscriptions,
Oh, okay.
and then I think it'll show on there, the date that you signed up. So basically, once it reaches, there we go, on 20th. So on October 20th, that's when it's going to renew.
Okay. Bet. And is the 150 like all inclusive? Like, I know you have a signals thing for $50. You have an option for just the indicator without the signals, or the indicator come as the package deal with the signals.
Yeah, it comes with a package deal so that when I call the signals, what a lot of people do is that when they're applying the strategy, when I call the signals, they don't necessarily go directly off my signals. What they do is they try to identify the trades on their own, like how we were just going over on the 4 hour. And if their analysis lines up with my signal, then they're like, okay, cool, like I identified this, and they knew exactly what to take. So it's all inclusive into this package with the strategy. The only thing that's different is if you don't want the indicators and you don't want the strategy, then the signals would be completely separate. But for the
Mm.
strategy, pretty much it's all bundled together.
Okay, got you. Yeah, when it comes to US 30. And like I said, I've been really trying it on SPX because I don't really want to fuck around with US 30. Matter of fact, you can unless you have like $300-400 in your account. So, and I really don't think that's enough. I have a couple of people that I trade with, and they don't have a problem taking it with $300 in their account. I'm like, yeah, but if you fuck up and you take the wrong signal or whatever, half of your account's gone. $150.
Yeah,
If you lose that, it's over. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So,
You won't be able to trade anymore for a while. If that's
right,
the case.
you'll be refunding that damn account. So, um, uh, with US 30, um, I'm only 37 and I don't smoke, but I can't remember shit, and I don't know why. It's crazy. I was just about to ask you something about US 30. Oh, so I noticed that most of your signals come out as buy stops or sell stops, and they're not like market execution when the signal comes up. So how do you come up with the buy stop and sell stop parameters? Let's say this is the valid sell signal at 9:30. How do you come up with the buy stop and sell stop for that
So
trade?
yeah, so for that right there, when I see the signal and whoever is applying the strategy themselves, we all enter at market because we wait for the actual candle to close. However, when I send the signal out, it's going to be about maybe a few seconds late. So you can see that candle that follows that sell signal. You can see how it's a green candle, right? So price goes above entry.
Right.
So if price is above entry and you're trying to enter a sell, it's going to be a sell stop order. However, if price is
Gotcha.
below it, yeah, so say after that sell signal, it's a red candle, right? And price is below the entry, then in that situation, it would be a sell limit because there's only one or the other. It's either a buy stop, I mean a sell stop or a sell limit. So just depending on where price currently is at that time, that's how I'm going to indicate
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I got
what
you.
type of order it is.
Yeah, so if you get a green candle after the signal, and then you say, okay, when price gets back down to this point, then sell. You know what I mean? Or,
Yeah. So if you have a green, sorry, your connection kind of went off for a little bit, but if it's a green candle after it, then the only order type that you can put would be a sell stop, and then vice versa. If price was a red candle after it, the only order type you could put in would be a sell limit. So it just
right.
depends on where price currently is. But either one will work because if you try to put a sell stop and it doesn't let you, it's common sense where you're like, okay, I'll just put a sell limit instead, and then that will be the order type.
But really, you're taking it on the signal itself, right?
Exactly. So you're technically entering it exactly where we're entering it. However, you're just entering it like at a later time. That's why I have to put an order type because if I put market and price is like all the way at TP1, some people don't go and actually check the chart. They just want to put it in.
Oh yeah, now
Yeah.
get burned. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
got you. All right, bro. Like I said, man, I appreciate you. And if I have any more questions or anything, I'll shoot you an email. But I'm excited to use the zone strategy. I'm gonna sit here and mark up some more charts, and hopefully I marked the zones correctly. But I think I got it now. So I will reach out to you if I need anything else.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. This was great. If you have any other questions, feel free to just set up another meeting and then we can get on another session. I can make time for you whenever you like, you know, as long as it fits within the schedule. But yeah, I'm always available. So if you have any other questions, just make a list of questions, and then we can do this again, you know, at some time in the future whenever you have more questions to go over.
All right, boss. Have a good one.
No problem.
All right, peace.
All right. See you later.